Welcome to this explainer. When we think about the vast, unpredictable ocean and just the massive scale of global shipping, it's so easy to picture absolute financial chaos anytime something goes wrong out there. But, well, that actually isn't the case. Instead of focusing on the gloomy side of maritime accidents today, we're going to look at a brilliantly engineered, highly structured safety net. We're going to visualize exactly how maritime law uses a really proactive system of rules to bring bright, organized order to the high seas.
So that brings up a huge question. How exactly do you organize financial chaos at sea? Well, the answer lies in a smartly engineered system of regulations, specifically Sections 168 to 170 of the Maritime Liability Limitation Rules. And let me tell you, these aren't just dry, boring legal statutes. They're dynamic tools, designed specifically to ensure fairness, order, and proportional compensation when the unexpected strikes. By visualizing these rules today, we'll see exactly how the maritime industry maintains perfectly balanced ledgers, which is what keeps trade moving smoothly and fairly all across the globe.
All right, here's our roadmap for today's journey. First, the maritime safety net. Second, building the liability fund. Third, the no-fund alternative. Fourth, slicing the compensation pie. Fifth, the subrogation shortcut. And finally, number 6, why this system matters.
Let's jump right into part 1, the maritime safety net, which is essentially a proactive system of rules. Okay, let's dive into this by introducing our first really major concept, which is the financial safety net at sea. The foundation of this whole system is called the limitation fund. Now, I want you to think of this not just as some mundane legal entity, but as a secure, impenetrable financial vault. Imagine a massive cargo ship accidentally damages a really bustling commercial harbor. Instead of just sitting around waiting for a chaotic wave of lawsuits to hit, the responsible party can proactively set up this vault with the central government or the high court. By setting it up, they organize and locking their maximum financial liability under the law. It basically creates this bright, clear boundary for resolving all the specific claims related to that incident, safely and fairly.
Moving right along to part 2, building the liability fund, or the mechanics of Section 168.
Let's see how this actually builds. How exactly does a ship owner, or maybe a salver, construct this financial vault in the real world? Well, setting up the fund is incredibly elegant, and it really only requires 2 pretty straightforward steps. Step 1, you calculate the required base amount based on the rules, but you also absolutely have to add interest, and that runs right from the date the incident occurred up until the exact date the fund is actually constituted. Step 2 then provides some wonderful flexibility. To actually build the fund, you can either deposit the hard cash amount, or you can produce a legally acceptable guarantee, one that the High Court or central government considers adequate. It makes compliance highly accessible and honestly really easy to visualize.
And this brilliantly illustrates the system's incredible efficiency. Section 168 contains this amazing one-for-all protection rule. Basically, if just one liable person, whether that's a ship owner, a salver, or even their insurer, takes the initiative to build this fund, the law deems it constituted for everyone involved. It creates this massive protective umbrella for all the parties tied to that one specific incident, or what the law actually calls a distinct occasion. So, if a ship accidentally damages a dock today, the fund covers the claims from today, completely separate from anything that might have happened last year. But keep in mind, this vault is exclusively reserved for claims where limitation of liability is being invoked. It's a highly specialized safety net.
Now for part 3, the no-fund alternative, which is basically bypassing Section 168.
So, you might be wondering what happens if a party decides to invoke their right to limit liability, but they just skip building this vault entirely. Well, you can technically invoke limitation without building the fund, but doing so leaves you incredibly vulnerable. Think about it. With a fund properly constituted, claims are neatly contained and they're paid securely right out of that single central vault. It's safe, it's orderly. Without it, however, the High Court has to adjudicate each and every claim for its full proven amount. And more importantly, without that central vault, claimants are absolutely not barred from taking other legal actions against you. You completely lose that protective shield and open yourself right up to financial chaos.
All right, part 4, slicing the compensation pie. This is about proportional distribution under Section 170.
Assuming the smart choice was made and the protective vault was built, how is the money inside actually divided up among multiple competing claims? Well, according to Section 170, the fund is strictly distributed in proportion to established claims. Now, normally in maritime law, a lien acts kind of like a VIP pass, right? It allows certain claimants to jump straight to the front of the line to get paid. But here, the law explicitly ignores those special rights to ensure a perfectly level playing field. Whether you are Claim A or Claim B, your liens just don't matter. You get a beautifully fair, proportional slice of the pie based strictly on your verified claim amount.
Moving to Part 5, the subrogation shortcut. We're looking at early settlements and Section 170.
But reality moves fast. What if a ship owner or their insurer urgently pays a claim out of pocket before the fund is efficiently sliced up and distributed? Say a local fisherman's nets were destroyed in the incident, and the insurer pays him immediately just so he can keep working. That is where we get this brilliant mechanism called subrogation. Subrogation is a clever legal shortcut. Section 170 allows the person who paid the early settlement to literally step into the shoes of the compensated party. This means the insurer instantly acquires the exact rights that the fisherman would have had against the limitation fund up to the exact amount they already paid out. And wonderfully, the rules allow anyone who pays compensation to exercise this exact same right.
And the proactive nature of this system goes even further with something called a provisional set-aside. Let's say someone can establish to the High Court that they might be compelled to pay a claim at a later date, a claim that would eventually give them those exact subrogation rights we just talked about. The court doesn't just cross its fingers and hope there's some money left over later. No, the court or central government can actually order that a sufficient sum be provisionally set aside in advance. They literally reserve a slice of the pie before the main fund is even distributed, ensuring your future rights are securely protected today.
Finally, Part 6. Why this system matters. It's all about keeping global commerce moving.
Let's step back from the specific mechanics for a moment and look at the big picture. Why are these specific rules actually a vital engine for global shipping? Well, it all comes down to this one core principle from Section 170. The funds shall be distributed among the claimants in proportion to their established claims. That single powerful sentence is really the anchor of the whole system. It guarantees that when the unexpected happens, the resulting financial situation is resolved cleanly, proportionately, and fairly. By replacing absolute panic with a structured, predictable vault, it ensures that maritime incidents don't bring the massive, interconnected machinery of international commerce to a grinding halt.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating thought to close on today. If this elegantly organized legal vault is exactly what keeps the infinitely complex world of maritime trade afloat and thriving, despite the complete unpredictability of the ocean, how could other massive, risk-heavy industries benefit from copying this exact system of organized fairness? Just imagine the stability if every sector had its own proactive financial harbor. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep visualizing these solutions, and I'll see you next time.